untrending truth about.
Hi guys, this is After Talk with High Vibe Angie, and this is my mom, Vivian Parker. Hi, mom.
Hey, hey.
Hi, and this is, I want to say, our fourth show. We kind of did a little shorty on, Father's Day, literally. So that was more of a
Yes.
tribute to my dad. But right now, I feel like this is our third, still fourth, because we always go off on some type of kick. um, However, if you guys want to look at the previous tapings, we just talk about different things, even sayings for, I'm the youngest of eight, by the way. She has eight children. Yep, her. 81, 81, yeah, right? I know,
Right.
right? But yeah, so I'm the youngest of eight. And so she also spoke about, or we joked about the sayings and different things that she remembers from each child, just different things. Overall, this is a legacy taping as well for me. So anyway, let's get to it. She has to run some errands and stuff. So I said we'd get to it today. Um, Going right into it, mom. Let's see. The first question today is, what did you know about marriage and parenting? And you got married, you were how old?
I was almost 19. I got married at 18, and I got married January 10th,
Yeah.
1959, and I turned 19 February 27th, 1959. So I was just a little, about 30 days, I would have been 19. So I was right out of high school, though. I graduated from high school in June of 58.
Wow.
And so by January, 6 months later, I was married.
I'm sorry. I'm just taking
You're
it in
just
from my own life.
commiserating.
Just taking it in from my own life. I don't think
I don't,
so. You deserve a lot because like how that even happened? So did dad ask your dad to how did dad propose to you? What happened? How did that what happened? Mom.
that, that is interesting because the funny thing was he came to Portland in 1957 to actually go to Bible college, right? So he was right out of the military, came to Portland to go to Pacific Bible College, which is now Warner College. Okay. So he knew the pastor. So he stayed at next door to the church in the parsonage where I was a member at that time. So they knew each other from Kansas City Church of God, back in the Midwest. So back home. Yeah. And so in June of 1958, we were Christians, so we didn't go to the prom. But I had a boyfriend at the time. I had a boyfriend for about a year.
Yeah.
He was like about 6'4". He was like a senior at Benson.
Yeah.
And he was tall, but he couldn't play.
C.
He was just tall,
He was
for
just
sports.
tall.
Yeah. So anyway,
He was cute though.
nice guy. He was a
Yeah.
Christian, and he kind of thought he might want to go into the ministry. So he was really a nice guy.
Yeah.
And so went to instead of going to the prom in June of 58 with him, we went out to dinner. So I had gone out to dinner in June in lieu of going to the prom in June. So in between June,
wait. You said we who went to dinner?
My boyfriend at the time.
Oh, okay.
I would call his name, but this was another boyfriend. So that kind of like ended right after high school, blah blah blah, and all that. So he went his way, and so between in that time, I think your dad was at the church for about 6 months. He had been there, but you know how women and people try to match a new person up with every lady and every single lady or girl.
And
so
that
was
really, really handsome. No, I'm just saying, like a young dude from Kansas City. He's a city dude,
Right, and
you
he
know.
was kind of like he was a Christian, and he was
Yeah,
kind of like wanting to be in the ministry, and he actually was a good guy,
yeah,
and he'd been out, to the military, back and blah blah and all that. So
yeah.
anyway, so in those 6 months when he was here, and I already had a boyfriend, obviously what was going on was the um the women and whatever, they were trying to like match him with this woman, match him with that. You know
Because
how
you
that
already had
goes.
a man.
What's that?
Because you already had a man. I'm just saying you had
I already did.
a
I
clear
already did.
boyfriend.
Yes. And so they kind of like did that dance for a while and whatnot. But to back up though, when I first met him, I've told this story before, but the way that I first met him, period, was in my Sunday school class.
Yes.
I told you that, but then this kind of like gives you a little bit of background, just as just
My dad was a heavenly R. Kelly. No.
the peripheral, the peripheral, involvement,
Yeah.
with just kind of accidental. But I was at Sunday school and my teacher was late. I came to Sunday school just a bit late. My teacher came in my class. The teacher was not there, but the person teaching the class was your dad. And that was kind of like the first time I really
So
met
you
him.
came to class, but the teacher wasn't there.
No. So the person teaching the class was John, your dad.
But he wasn't
Because
there yet, is what you're saying.
What?
But he wasn't in the class yet?
He wasn't in the class because he was older than the class. I was a teenager and he was older, but the pastor, because he knew him and he knew who he was and they were friends, he asked him if he would just take the class that morning.
Okay, I got you. I thought you
Right.
meant my dad was late.
No, he wasn't late. I was a little bit late and
He
the
was
teacher
putting
just
a spot.
wasn't there.
Yeah, he was.
So when I got into the class, he was already teaching the class. And that's kind of like how I really saw him.
Okay.
But all that other time, they were just like doing the mix and the match and the blah, blah, blah and all that. I wasn't paying any attention to that stuff. But so I really met him at that time. And so, but nothing, there was nothing.
Well, so you didn't think anything like, oh, he's cute, or yeah.
Not at all.
I feel you.
I wasn't looking for anyone.
No, you still can think somebody's cute, Mom, but no,
I didn't really see him that way.
That's right. No,
I didn't. And so
how'd you start seeing him that way?
actually, I used to go over this old lady, Sister Martin. Used to live across the street, kind of catty corner from the church.
Yeah.
And I used to go over there and help her out. She was really old. And so we used to joke about when you go to her house, you look in the refrigerator, there was absolutely nothing.
Seriously?
Nothing. We didn't see anything in there. But if she wanted to make you a meal, she would pull something from somewhere and put food on the table. She's one of those kind of old ladies. Yeah, she'd find something from somewhere. And so she was quite elderly at the time, and she lived alone. She had family, but she lived alone. So I used to go over there and help her. And so I guess John, your dad, must have also, got acquainted with her. And so because he and Willie Loving, Willie Loving, I forget his last, Willie Holt. Willie Holt. He and Willie Holt at the time, because he was out of the military, came to Portland, didn't have a job, right? Willie Holt wasn't working at the time. So they became friends. And so they started to get used stuff and start to sell it, because Willie Holt had a truck. And so they used to get used stuff from somewhere and start selling it. I bought an old mangy rug from him once, just trying to help him out. Junk, man.
No, it's a company. We buy junk.
Right. So they did that, but they weren't robbing and stealing. They were selling stuff. They were making a living. I'm not making a living, but they were making money. So I think Mrs. Mark, this old lady, they had probably tried to, sell some stuff to her, kind of got acquainted with her that way. And so, so after a while, he started to come over there, and I would be over there. And so I think that's kind of how we got to kind of like move in the same circle.
Yeah.
And so next thing I know, he was saying, he asked me to marry him. He didn't get on his knee and none of that stuff.
What are
Asked me
you
to marry
talking
him. He
about?
says,
Next thing you know, Mom, you just went from knowing each other at the lady's house and them selling junk to asking
that was about it.
Isn't that something?
So, I mean, I saw him in church and he was helping and he was, you know, doing things like that. But so anyway, so we got kind of like got into a relationship.
Y'all didn't date nothing?
No, there were people who dated. Who dated? What's dating? Dating is if you're trying to find somebody. But I mean, he asked me eventually if I would marry him. He said, I'll ask your dad. And I thought, okay, this will be interesting because my dad is no joke. John did not have a job. He hardly knew me. Certainly didn't know my dad because my dad wasn't even hardly come to church.
Exactly. Can't even recognize him. They can't even recognize each other. Exactly.
I know. So it's like things, you know how things kind of go so fast, it's kind of like a blur. People say, I look back and just that whole period was a blur. That was kind of a blur. So anyway, we lived on Rodney at the time because I was a freshman. I mean, I was a senior in high school, right? I was a senior in high school. So we moved on to Northeast Rodney, the first real house I lived in, and they bought that when I was a freshman in high school, right? So we had lived in that house like maybe 3 going on 4 years, you know, by the time, you know. So I remember he came in the house, I remember. And so my dad was over by the stairs. There were some stairs right by the front door. And so I was just kind of like back over there in the living room because it was over there.
Color purple. Speaking now from the bathroom.
I was thinking this will be interesting.
You and your sisters peeking out from the kitchen.
My dad was the kind of dad that if y'all go out, it was about what 5 or 6 of us. If y'all go out, you better go out together. You better come back together, and you better be back by blah 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 time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That kind of a thing. And he didn't play.
Yeah.
So he asked my dad if he could marry me, and my dad said yes. I'm going like.
That was really some color purple stuff, Mom. You can have Nettie or Celie, you know, I mean, it was just, wow. What? You can have Celie. You like, what? What? Were you even expecting to get married? You thought your dad was going to say no, Mom.
I wasn't expecting him to say yes because my dad was a man who worked 2, 3 jobs. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying. So you might
my dad didn't,
the dad because you thought grandpa was going to say no. Now you got to get married.
No, it wasn't exactly like that. I didn't feel coerced. I didn't feel.
It's not what I thought, guys.
I was like, where are you, Dad? When you need it?
Legacy taping done. This ain't no love story.
That was Toy Story.
What is this?
No, but this is what I figured.
It's good. It's great.
It was good. This is what I figured. Okay, if my dad said yes after knowing he didn't have a job, he had no income, or he was getting like, I don't know what they get from the military, maybe $82 a month, maybe, I don't know.
Even back then.
knowing all of that, and looking back on it later, I figured my dad is a pretty good judge of character.
I would say he was a good judge of character. That's what I was gonna say.
My dad was a good judge of character. So if he said yes, he must have seen something or didn't see something. You understand what I'm saying?
Look.
Yeah. So, but when you asked me, what did I know about marriage? I knew nothing about marriage except for what I observed.
That's right. And
and
what
what I
you observed?
experienced.
What
I
you
saw
what you
what
observed in your mind?
I observed my own mother and father,
Mm-hmm.
and I had the opportunity to observe other Christian couples in the church, and there were a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
And so I saw how they act, how they treated one another. A lot of them were younger,
Yeah.
you know, at the time when I knew them, because a lot of them were later on were our youth leaders.
Mm-hmm.
They spent a lot of time with us. They talked to us about dating, and they talked. That was before, you know, I married your dad. They used to tell us. They said, "Okay, how long should you kiss a guy?" And so one of them came up with the thing, says, "As long as you can leave your finger on a hot stove."
Oh, that's good.
That's what I've always remembered that. But there's one thing I liked about, we were up close and personal. The
Yeah.
leaders were up close and personal with
Yeah.
us. So we saw they were having kids.
You had
They were
youth leaders in abundance, and that was just a way of life.
in
We
abundance.
had youth leaders and stuff, even just like the church now, dwindled and fizzled out.
Yeah.
You know, and then of course in some places it's still traditions like that, you know, where they
Right, it is. And so if you have that kind, if you've been involved or
yeah,
been exposed or been in that kind of an environment in church,
yeah,
you're really blessed.
yeah,
Because if they were mad at each other or not having a bad time or didn't have money, you know, and they did go through hard places because a lot of them were in ministry and working
and broke or not.
and broke and
Yeah,
having kids. And so, but they were committed to leading us and showing us, discipling us.
Yeah.
You know, like when Claudel, we all had this singing group. We were out every weekend almost at some dangerous place in Southern Oregon singing. 4 Black people. 1, 2, 3, 3 Black teenagers and Claudel. So we were all over the place singing. And so that was the kind of time they put in.
Yeah.
They lived before us. I didn't say they were perfect because I wasn't looking for imperfection or perfection. I was just like a part of the group.
That's right.
But I got to witness how people really live in a relationship, in a marriage. You see what I'm saying? And so that was kind of like a protection for us too, because they were looking out for you.
That's right.
The Lord, they were teaching you about how, you know, how to serve the Lord,
Yeah.
how to be a young person that had integrity, honesty,
Yeah.
and that wasn't like dressing like hussies and streetwalkers and all that,
Yeah.
you know. And they also took us skating. They took us, you know what I'm saying?
Active. Yeah.
It's wonderful. So what I knew about marriage was what I saw.
Yeah.
And for what I lived in. Okay. So that was my reference for marriage.
Yeah.
And that's all it was.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. But to me, it was good. To me, it was good. I couldn't have learned it in a book.
Mm-mm.
It wouldn't have been any better just studying it in a book and reading about it in a book. And of course, they taught us what the Bible said about marriage, about, you know, children.
Yeah, it was in church.
Well, everybody don't cover everything. You know what I'm saying?
But even man and woman, what do you mean? Or true?
No, what I mean about how a woman should be submissive to her own husband,
the husband.
respect him, how the husband should love his wife like he loves himself. You don't treat your own body bad, so you ain't gonna treat your wife bad. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And children should be should obey their parents in the Lord, and the fathers should not like exasperate their children and frustrate them so much that they, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You don't like pick on them and nag at them, and you know.
And God knew that men would be like little boys raising children.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So those things in the scripture that had to do with family and children and wives and respect for older people and all of those things, they taught us.
Even in Titus, learning from the older women.
Learning from the older women. Let the older women teach the young women to be keepers at home.
Yeah.
Lovers of their own husband.
Yeah.
You know, not being busybodies and gossips and all of that, not being drunk with much wine.
That's right.
All of that.
Yeah.
So all of those things were part of that whole. So when you asked me what I knew about marriage, I knew about marriage what I saw.
Yeah. But it wasn't abnormal. It wasn't like you were the only one, you know what I'm saying, 18. That was pretty, you know, you graduated from high school. So like You could have gone to college, but you didn't. So it wasn't abnormal. It wasn't family. Let's just talk about that. Family was not abnormal. The structure, like you're saying, with the marriage and church and this family was
Right.
like everything that you just spoke about is everything that they've broken down and tried to diminish in our culture and society in our the world,
Right.
family and roles and
Right.
survival,
Right.
this the whole structure of it all. One, two,
Right.
three is
That gives you stability, and it gives you
order
comfort and confidence.
and order.
It gives you confidence. The women cooked meals. They
Yeah,
cooked.
that
You
could
see,
go. I mean,
right.
that's what I've been saying. Roles. You have the roles, or women are nurturers, and everything is set up for a reason.
Basically, yes.
And that's why
Basically,
even people
yes.
try to pretend to be other people because you're still fulfilling this either or role,
Right.
of what was
Right.
designed. But dad cooked, dad, you know what I mean? So
I learned how to cook from your dad pretty much. I didn't learn how to cook at home because I was, kind of down on the line. My mom was still cooking. She was still a homemaker,
yeah,
basically a homemaker.
18.
She cooked.
Yeah.
And so by the time, I never really had to cook.
You were 18, getting cooked meals, going to high school. Cook
Right.
what? I didn't start cooking until 20 something, but I still feel like pretty much overall, I learned to cook from dad. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So
Yeah, he was, yeah.
it was good.
I totally agree. So he kind of like taught us all how to cook, really.
Yeah.
I can't say my mom didn't teach me anything. I observed she had some dishes, chili, oh man, bombs, chili, spaghetti, pineapple upside down cakes.
You never did that, Mom.
Huh?
You never baked. I didn't.
No, I was not a baker.
I know. I'm not a baker either. Your granddaughter is, but I'm not a baker. I can cook.
Right.
Then what I remember from you was like spaghetti and the beans.
Meals, yes.
Staple meals.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You're absolutely right about that because it just wasn't in my DNA. But it doesn't mean because we were exposed to it.
Yeah.
But just like you expose any of your children or your cousins or whatever to various things, it's only going to register with certain ones.
That's right.
Right. So the more they're exposed to good things, positive things, and helpful, constructive things, the more things that they're exposed to, some of those things will speak to them personally.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of the beauty of parenting or being an aunt or an uncle or cousin and all of those things is because you get to help expose young people or other kids or whatever it is, even your own peers, to different things that may really speak to them that they may not have encountered before. So it's just like, wow. So I with that in mind, when I was at home talking about cooking and food philosophy.
Yeah.
Okay. So when I was at home, because we were not rich, I learned when I went to Portland State University, we were poor. We had government cheese, we had government eggs, we had Spam, all of those. We had margarine and all of those things that you can get from the government to supplement your income, right? So I grew up with a lot of that sugar, white flour, all of those things. They were not like processed, and they were not like, I would say, full of pesticides like it might be today. But it was still like white products, white sugar, white flour, and all that. But I can't say that it was like exposed to Monsanto.
Yeah, and even I was gonna say even our school lunches, they were garbage, but they were like organic. They were good.
At least it was food.
Was there. The quality was there. And now, like you said, if it's Monsanto's, is just capitalizing. Nobody cares, and they all really can care. They can afford to care, but they don't. That.
No, it's about the investors and all of that.
It's all about the dollar bill.
Yeah.
No, back then, I mean, that government cheese was good. It was like plastic.
It was good.
It was plastic, but it was like, no.
It was good. It was
no
good.
BPA cheese. No, but
a lot of women, incorporate, and then they had pastas too. I'm sure, like spaghetti. So I'm thinking, but a lot of women incorporated that in their meals, right? And so it was like extensions. But when I got married, I really kind of made a shift away from that. I don't even really know why, but it kind of made.
You are to this day.
What you say?
Because you are who you are to this day.
Yeah, and I think and this is what I'm saying. I don't know where I may have been exposed to like organic food, or like moving away from processed food, or from denatured or deneutralized food. You know what I'm saying? All of the stuff taken out. I don't know, like white rice and all that. And so I don't know where I might have been exposed to some of that, like brown rice. Like whatever. You understand what I'm saying? Oatmeal, herbs. Why? I don't even know how I got into collecting herbs and had a whole apothecary.
So mad. I used to be so mad. We got brown rice, brown sugar, brown bread. I'd be like, the milk would be brown if it could be. We'd go over people's house and like, sugar cereal? Like I mean, it was, then look at most of us now. You know what I mean? So
but that was, but there again, my mom didn't teach me that. Somehow.
Way before its time.
Yeah, but I was exposed to it maybe somehow, maybe in a book, maybe in a magazine. Who knows? I used to like to read books and magazines. So some way, somehow, something clicked with that, and that's what I adopted.
Yeah.
And it was not easy because it was too easy for you guys. You had a lot of friends. We went to the people's houses a lot for meals and whatnot. So everybody wasn't into that.
Yeah.
And so, I took some heat for it, but I really didn't care.
Yeah. Oh well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh well is right.
Hello. So, but that kind of thing, homemaking, how to treat a spouse, or how to rear children, disciplining them, or loving them, or actually caring for them. I learned that by observation and by that being in my environment.
Yeah.
The other thing, college was not a conversation piece like it is for like it was for like generations later.
Yeah,
in my family,
you and dad went to college, but it wasn't like how
the norm
here in kindergarten. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like they know what college they're going to here.
Well, exactly. So that wasn't our family focus nor value per se.
That's right.
But it just so happened that in our lifetime, we were able to do that. It made sense for us to do. Of course, your dad came here to do that.
Yeah, true.
But that wasn't a part of his family's conversation either.
At all. Yeah.
Right. So, our family's conversation was, you better graduate from high school.
Yeah, that's it. Exactly. Pretty much.
Because my mom and dad, neither of them did it.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. My mom and dad, one went to 8th grade, one went to the 5th grade. I don't know which one.
What are you talking about?
What?
Okay, I think I know about Grandpa leaving when he was 8, 9, Louisiana. First of all, I thought he was born somewhere else. It's even like, where was your grandfather born? It's a password. It's a lie. Arkansas is what I said. And I got corrected by siblings like, he was born in Louisiana. It's like, what?
Yeah, he was. Well, we didn't know. He didn't talk about it. We didn't know anybody. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That wasn't a part of our conversation either.
The 8th, and you wait, so somebody didn't make it past what grade?
I think from when I talked with them when they were elderly, and I was trying to get a little something on paper, I believe one of them went to the 5th, and the other one may have gotten out of the 8th grade, maybe. I don't know what's what. They didn't see, when I say it wasn't a part of our conversation, it wasn't.
Yeah.
Right. I just know that they did not go to high school. So they insisted that we had to graduate from high school. That was their goal.
Which was pretty cool though.
Right. That was their goal for us. And so in my experience, talking about college to your kids from kindergarten, like you're saying, well, you're going to prepare to take these tests. You're going to prepare, take this. You need to do this in elementary school. You need to do this in high school. Then you need to take the SAT, and you need to go and start, applying and all those kinds of things and all that. That wasn't a part of our conversation. So, so as the Lord would have it, your dad was on that track for ministry, but that meant Bible college, right? So, and through him going to Bible college, and we were newly married or young married, having a bunch of kids, but he was still going to college and working.
Wow.
He was working. He found a job with the post office as a custodian, right? So when he was going, and then he found a job at a lab with the government. They tested soils, you know, sediment, see what's in the, all that. So that's where he was working when he finished college. Wow. So, so at some point when he had gone to college and he was close to finishing, he quit his job.
Yeah.
Why? And then he finished. Huh?
Why did he quit his job?
He quit his job so he can concentrate on it and get out of there.
How'd you guys?
And which was,
I would say,
which was a good thing.
Survive?
Well, he quit his job at the post office as a custodian, and that's when you all and us were without health coverage for 5 years, because he was away from, he had quit the job and was going to college full time. So we were at home being a family still.
Not me.
And no health coverage.
Not me.
Huh?
Not me.
You were
thought of.
you were not. Neither was Malcolm.
Not me.
Neither you nor Malcolm. Neither you nor Malcolm experienced that. But it's a part of our family story because it's important. We had at least 6 of the 8. Yeah. We had 6 of the 8 kids because most of them went to their dad's graduation. Not you.
No. I went to
not you. I have pictures of some of them. Yeah, it was the other 6. So for 5 years, we had no health coverage because he quit his job to go to college and concentrate on that, and he did. So what happened those 5 years? I tell you all the time, nothing. Nobody got sick.
Of course not. Not like that, but yeah.
That's why people you freak out if you don't really know who your source is, and things change in this world, which they do all the time. Yeah. You'll be tripping. Yeah. You'll be marching in the streets like, you know, this is my great white hope. Yeah. No pun intended. Yeah. But so therefore, well, you know what I'm saying.
Anyway, usually I'm pretty witty about the race stuff, but anyway.
But no. I'm not even tripping. I'm not even thinking about that because a lot of people get it confused about what their source is. And because the government is a resource, you know, and those things change daily almost.
And at
least yearly or every 4 yearly.
Yeah. Appreciate you.
Yeah, so you can't be anchored in that as how you're going to live your life.
Yeah,
you know?
So live in fear and, like you said, you know, get all in a
living in fear.
So really, if you are in control of everything, you are. So good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck.
So people maybe not taught how God provides for you or how you wait on him, how you pray and believe him and trust him and wait.
You have to believe, yeah.
Because you got to believe, and you need to believe in God and in Christ. It's not just like believe in the universe.
Well, I mean.
Or believe in your crystals, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not that. You know to know where it is specifically.
But people.
Go ahead. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. My hope is in nothing less than Jesus and his righteousness. And so that's where you're anchored. If you're not anchored in that, when the storm comes, your boat's going to be doing a jig.
Yeah.
And you're going to be trying to be like Peter and the other disciples. They're going like losing it.
Oh, waking them up. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
so
think,
anyway,
what time is it? Oh, we all right. A little second.
Okay. So that's just a little aside. But marriage, family, relationships, cooking, responsibilities, role models, examples. I'm not saying that during that time there were no women that didn't work.
Right.
or that did something different. You know what I'm saying? But that was the norm.
Yeah.
You raise the children, you cook and you clean. When my husband come home, you have his meal ready. You clean, you do the laundry, you
Yeah.
iron the shirt, or teach kids how to do all that. That's
Homemaker.
part of what that's part of what a wife does. Not only does she take care of her household, her husband,
Yeah.
but she also teaches those that she has how to do that. My mom taught me how to iron a white shirt. I still remember to this day
Well, you never
the
taught
way she
me,
taught me.
but you use kids for labor.
Give me a break. What do you mean? Explain yourself.
I mean, you could have used us more, but I'm saying like you use kids to help you get along. If it's laundry or whatever, you can not use them, but use them. Have the kids help you.
Well,
You're teaching them,
exactly.
but I don't mean use sounds like use, but yeah.
Right. Yeah, you do. It's a win-win
Should.
situation because they help you and they're learning to do this as well.
Yeah.
Because when I go to my house, I'll know how to mop the floors. I'll know how to keep the dishes clean. I'll know how to clean the bathroom. I'll know how to do my husband's shirts if that's, do the laundry, fold them up, put them away, and your kids help you do that and they're learning by doing. That's how I learned.
Right.
My mom didn't just sit me down and say, okay, this is what we're going to do, blah, blah, blah. We just did it.
You were
Vivian, you do
were
this. You
utilized.
take out the lunch. You take the trash out, and you better have your bed made up, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
You learn because that's what you're doing, and they're teaching you all the while.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You were
So,
utilized,
yeah. My education as far as that was totally hands-on.
Yeah.
Hands-on with my parents, hands-on with my church leaders, and the church family.
Yeah.
People inviting you over for dinner, being
Yeah.
hospitable.
Yeah.
They taught about the hospitality.
Yeah.
And fellowshipping. They did that as a group at church. About every once a month at least we had a church fellowship where they were in there frying chicken and all that, setting the table and everybody trying to
it was just
pitch in doing that.
Continuous example all the way around, and you were just learning, being taught, and not being indoctrinated. But
it's a beautiful thing.
It is. It's amazing.
Yeah. Well, what do you think people in cult do? That means the same thing. You're learning something, but what are you learning? So a lot of people in cults, they almost enslave their people. They want them to give money, but they use them to build the buildings, to till the land, to make the garden. And then the big head honcho is in there sitting up on pillows, having sex with everybody.
That's right. Good for them. Do what you do. But they had some order. No, but no, honestly and truly, the thing is I'm glad that you raised us as being a Christian, because the order and the structure and the roles, all that stuff, it makes sense. But that is why people, believe or try to believe in something, because they're looking, for outside of something to belong to, that order, that doctrine, that just, like I said, those instructions. They're in need of. It's like a child in need of discipline.
Yeah, it's like people are looking for acceptance, love, of something to belong to, like you were saying. Support, all of those things that you get when you can get it in other kinds of situations, like a gang, a cult, or a Satanist group or whatever. They're offering those things, but the consequences are not the same.
No.
You see, they're not the same. They don't all lead to life.
That's right.
And godliness and righteousness and happiness. They cannot, because they cannot offer that.
Yeah. Especially so, man.
That's why after a while, even some people in churches, you need to have people who are rock solid. I didn't say perfect.
Grounded.
I said people who are good word, who are grounded in the word. The scripture tells you that, to be rooted and grounded in it. You're going to have problems, you're going to have difficulties, but trust me, the one that you are rooted and grounded in is right there to take you through it. So awesome. So awesome.
Okay, well, it's almost 11, Mom. That was good. Yeah, I feel like parenting was covered in that as well. Marriage and parenting. Yeah, overall.
Absolutely.
Where you, what did you know about it? So really it's like, where did you learn it from?
Yeah, I think I told you this story a lot where my mom, she was home. We were there, right? We were going to school, whatever we were doing. Mm-hmm. But if we cut up, if we disobeyed, acted up, or tried to get smart and talk back, like that was a mistake. But her big words were, wait till your dad gets home.
That's so good.
He was a disciplinarian. She said, all right, you wait till your dad gets home.
He had her back. He had her back.
He had her back, and then he had our books.
You didn't get whoopings, Mom. Quit faking.
I didn't really get a lot, but I got some. And when he got home, we were going like
scared.
Didn't mention nothing, trying to be good, hoping she told him.
Yeah.
And we would think by getting towards bedtime, we think, oh yeah, we were like,
forgot.
No, he didn't.
But that's good. But then that's also, you look at the role and the masculine, how is it emasculated? All the men nowadays, you know what I mean?
Emasculated.
That's what I say, emasculated. Yeah.
Feminized and emasculated. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, the men and it's just that role is missing. Not everybody. It's a lot of dads and alpha males out there.
There's a lot of good dads out there who are strong. They are confident in who they are and what they're here for.
That's right.
Yeah.
A lot of them. I mean, enough for sure. But absolutely, that is a cool thing because she was doing what she was doing. But then, okay, because I'm here with y'all all day. You know what I mean? But for him to back her is the bomb. Because then, I mean, that's all she had to do.
Yep. They was like, and when we thought he'd forget and we'd be going to bed and whatnot, thinking he forgot, whatnot. After a while, that light would come on, the door would open, the light would come on, he'd pull them covers back and he had a bam. Trying to get under the cover.
I won't do it again. Wow, it's so sad. That is.
He followed through.
And
he did his job.
Yeah.
But anyway.
No. That's pretty cool.
I wasn't abused. I mean, they would call it abuse these days, but I wasn't. We were not abused.
I could have gotten abused more. I keep telling you that.
Yeah, you could have used it. I could have told you to bring me a switch more often. I don't think you ever heard the words
switch in my life. Know that.
Well, anyway, I you know what? Speaking about the men, I think we talked about this before. Mm-hmm. I watch YouTube a lot and I like it because it's real people doing real things, except for those who are trying to put on a show. You know what I'm saying? Trying to be something. You can pick that up.
Yeah.
But what I like is I'm seeing more men owning the fact that they are men and they have a responsibility and they have an important role to play. They're in who they are. You see, a woman can never be a man.
No.
A man can never be a woman. So you cannot give that child the nurture side, you know, that nurture nature, and then also that
I even did that
macho male.
What is that?
Whatever it is.
Not even the testosterone, but the authority. You know, of
the authority, right?
The power of a man. You know, it is nothing.
Men walk in authority.
There's nothing wrong with it. I mean,
there's nothing wrong with it.
People feel how they feel. You can believe what you believe, but that structure, it just makes sense. And a lot of people, although luckily, like you said, people are starting to come. You know, if it's on YouTube, or come out and be more visible because. I think it's a need for that because what they're
is a big need.
Yeah, what they're showing and what they're making more visible is their agenda and what they want us to believe, which is not so. But the powers that be in media, they're going to push.
There, yeah,
Push.
yeah.
And it's time for us to push or talk about it or let it be known that everybody is not going for it, falling for it, believing it, or thinks that is um, the
That is our
structure.
future, and that, yeah.
Yeah.
No, and I'm very hardened by that, and I'm also heartened by women, and these are mostly women of color, but this, because it's an issue for our people.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I'm even saying that is people of color that I'm seeing this in.
And you're black. You are a person of color.
Everybody hasn't had the same experiences, but I'm seeing a lot of more Black women just being more confident in being feminine and being a woman, being who she is. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And being comfortable with that. So I can see that there's something coming out of that muddled confusion.
Yeah.
There's something that's emerging that is like true to who God made you in the first place.
Right.
You know,
right.
coming out of this fog and you know what, or this dust storm, whatever it was, you know, you go like,
yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I am really heartened by that.
Yeah.
So everything can't last forever. It's going to be a time when it changes. And so some things have gone underground all that time. They never disappeared. They were always there. It was always there. But now,
in all realms, on all sides. You know what I mean? Underground, here, there, everywhere, whatever. However, it's just I think some of us just are learning to be or need to be more vocal. You know,
it's happening. It's happening.
So yeah, I think
it's happening, and social media actually assists that, where it's not toxic. You know what I'm saying? That's a platform where a lot of people can express that. You know what I'm saying?
But a lot of them also are getting like videos removed and stuff. They if you speak up too much, they will. I've had a comment or mine removed.
Well, you can be removed, but they cannot erase you. People who heard it. People who already know that. They're not God.
Yeah, no,
they're not God. They can't.
They try. Yeah,
please. Anyway, you act like people can't talk to each other, or can't talk on the phone. That's not your only place of exposure.
Right. Exactly.
So they think they're doing something detrimental. No, that doesn't stop anything. That doesn't stop anything.
No, it doesn't.
It really doesn't. So I'm heartened by that.
Yeah.
And it seems like, you know, people are beginning to get their footing again. Your DNA never lies anyway. Your DNA has always said what you were and who you are. You cannot change that.
Yeah, what I've learned.
I don't care how many surgeries you get.
Yeah.
You may have this one may not ever see the light of day.
Yeah.
But you cannot cut yourself into being something that you're not.
Well, no, but what I've learned over time is that usually something happened, you know, something created that, and people aren't willing to go back and reflect and visit what happened. You know what I mean?
I believe that.
Yeah,
I do believe that.
So it's even been stories, but even what I've witnessed or how I feel in my heart when I ask people, the biggest one would be the molestation, sexual abuse. You know what I mean?
Totally agree.
Period. Or seeing a parent get abused, be the abuser, don't want to be as weak as the abused. So then you become, you know, it's just like all these different things.
I totally agree.
You aren't visiting and realizing a lot of hurt and pain, a lot of wounds that kind of are accepted or like a community gathering, you know, accepted with these wounds.
Right.
People aren't willing to look at, or histories of family, all masculine women, no men around. So then a boy is born. I mean, just different things where it's
there's a lot. I totally agree. There's a lot of dynamics that feed into this, and then you have some people who maybe want to like build on that and expand that so that you can be confused. You know what I'm saying?
Well, because if you don't have even some type of foundation or whatever, then yeah, you better be confused because that's all you have. That's what you hold to. That's what
I totally agree.
your identity. That is the power that you have.
Yeah,
So some people
yeah,
don't believe in God at all and have those issues. So then it's
that's
really
very
power.
true.
It's just us. It's we're humans. We're
It,
humans.
it it is, and so I'm not unsympathetic to that. How
Oh, I
people
know.
got like that.
No, I
I'm not.
get it.
I
It's
am
typically what we think.
obviously,
Yeah,
obviously I am, but
yeah, right.
yeah, there's a lot of ways that that happens, and we're all different, so we don't
Right.
know what
What
made this one
happened?
necessarily, what made that one, and what made
Yeah,
that one. My thing is this though, like, but the bottom line is that what we need to do to understand is we need to understand that whatever God made us, that's what we are. And I know that there's people who have maybe different sex organs.
I was
You
gonna
could
say
be
that's
like an
not a man,
hermaphrodite.
but that's
Those
how
are
you're born.
things, yeah, those are things that happen in this world because we're in a sinful, fallen world, and that stuff happens because
It
of
happens.
that. It happens. So
Chromosomes and stuff. I mean, it happens.
it happens. So this is the kind of world that we live in. And it was like, this is the fallen, which is not, I want to overuse that
Yeah.
world. We decided that we wanted to do our own thing without God's way. So we
Yeah.
got what we got now, right?
You get
And that's what happens when we get what we get. We
Yeah.
got it.
Yeah.
Okay. So we got it. Get it?
We getting it. We getting it.
We're getting it, and we're
We
gonna,
are
yeah.
getting it.
So I'm not unsympathetic to that. I understand. I get that, and but that doesn't
Right.
negate the fact that people need to know the truth.
Yeah.
You can't say,
in touch with their
you know,
and get in touch with their truth. Some people haven't revisited their childhood, or they stop when certain things happen. A lot of people tell, I wish I had a boy. I wish I had a girl. They treat
all that
others,
stuff,
all kinds of stuff.
all that
I
stuff.
think
Yeah,
they treat the brother better, sweating the brother, so the sister becomes a. I mean, just it's real. It's real.
of course it's real, and that's part of the get what we got, or the got what we get. Okay, so it doesn't mean that
getting out the door. Anyway, we're gonna.
This has been good. I love it. I love this.
Good. Me too, but you better be getting what you got.
I gotta get
what you before you can't get what you want to get.
Yes.
Anyway,
yes.
this has been another session of After Talk with High Five Angie. That's it. I did it. After Talk with High Five Angie with my mom. The legacy tapings. That's pretty much what we're calling this series, because that's what it is, legacy tapings. And yeah, we just had a good time with the subject of what did you know about marriage and parenting, and yeah, so that was good. And then we always go where we go, so you just have to watch it to figure out where we went. Hey, and
and we don't know where we go.
Is that get what you get? Anyway, okay, Mom, you say bye to the people.
Bye. Love you guys.
All right, love y'all. Bye.
Bye.